What if the person you called to fix your broken wiring noticed something you were too proud to admit? Your fridge wasn't just broken, it was empty. This is the story of a struggling mother, a compassionate electrician, and how a single act of kindness rewired not just a home, but two hearts forever. Stay with me till the end. You'll see how sometimes, the most powerful repairs have nothing to do with wires. The rain was pouring hard that evening when Nadia picked up her old phone and dialed the number on the small flyer tucked under her door. The wiring in her apartment had been sparking for days, and with her two little kids asleep in the next room, she couldn't risk a fire breaking out. When the voice on the other end answered, calm and steady, she almost felt relief. "Hello, this is Adeel, electrician. How can I help you?" Her voice trembled slightly as she explained the problem, leaving out the bigger truth. That behind the broken wiring and dim lights, her fridge stood silent, not from a fault, but from emptiness. She hadn't been able to afford groceries in over a week. An hour later, Adeel knocked at her door. He was carrying his worn-out toolbox, his clothes still damp from the storm, but his smile was warm. As he worked on the wiring, his sharp eyes wandered, not in judgment, but in quiet observation. The living room was neat but bare. The curtains were patched, the table missing a leg propped up by bricks, and the faint hum of a fridge never came. He noticed Nadia avoiding the kitchen each time she passed. When he finally tested the repaired socket, the lights flickered back on. Nadia clapped softly, relief washing over her. "Thank you. I don't know what I would have done." But Adeel didn't pack up immediately. Something tugged at him. He excused himself politely and stepped toward the kitchen. There it was, the fridge, closed, lifeless in its silence. He opened it gently. Inside, nothing but a half-empty water bottle stared back. Nadia froze, her face flushed with embarrassment. It's not broken," she whispered, turning away. "There's just nothing to put in it." Adeel closed the fridge door slowly. His heart tightened. He knew that look, the quiet shame of someone carrying too much alone. That night, instead of going straight home, he made a stop. At a small grocery store on the corner, he filled 2 bags with rice, lentils, milk, bread, eggs, and a few treats for kids, chocolates, small and simple. When he returned to her door, Nadia stared in disbelief. "What is this?" she asked, her voice trembling. "You called me to fix your wiring," Adeel said gently. "But I think what needed fixing first was your fridge." Tears filled her eyes. She tried to refuse, pride battling with need. But Adeel placed the bags on the counter. Sometimes, letting someone help is the bravest thing you can do. That night, for the first time in weeks, Nadia's home filled with the smell of food, and laughter. Her children's joy at seeing full plates was a sound that cracked open her heart. But for Adeel, it wasn't just about food. Something had shifted. He had entered as an electrician, but he had left with a bond he couldn't ignore. The next few weeks brought unexpected changes. Adeel returned often, sometimes under the excuse of checking the wiring, other times openly bringing groceries or small toys for the children. At first, Nadia resisted, her pride whispering that accepting help meant weakness. But slowly, she saw that his kindness carried no strings, just genuine care. Her children began to look forward to his visits. Her little boy, Imran, followed him around with toy tools, pretending to fix things, while her daughter, Hania, shyly offered him drawings she made. Still, whispers of doubt filled Nadia's mind. She had been abandoned before, her husband walking out when life grew hard, leaving her to pick up the pieces. What if Adeel was the same? What if his kindness was temporary? One evening, as they shared tea at her kitchen table, she finally voiced her fear. "Why are you doing all this for us? You don't owe me anything." Adeel looked at her, his gaze steady, not demanding. "Because I know what it feels like to be in the dark, literally and inside. Years ago, when my wife passed away, I was lost. Someone stepped in and helped me when I had nothing. Now it's my turn. The silence that followed was heavy, but not uncomfortable. Nadia's eyes softened. For the first time in years, she felt seen, not as a burden, not as someone broken, but as someone worth caring for. Days turned into weeks, and slowly, Nadia's home began to glow, not just from the fixed wiring, but from warmth, laughter, and a sense of hope she thought she had lost forever. One evening, as Adeel helped Imran build a toy car from scraps, Hania whispered to her mother, "Mama, is he going to stay? Because when he's here, it feels like we're a real family again." Nadia's throat tightened. She looked at Adeel, who glanced back with a smile that said everything words couldn't. The truth was simple: sometimes, love doesn't arrive in grand gestures. Sometimes, it comes quietly, through a man who fixes wires, fills empty fridges, and heals hearts piece by piece. We often think we call people into our lives for one reason, but God sends them for another. Nadia asked Adeel to fix her wiring. Instead, he fixed her empty fridge, her weary heart, and her broken faith in people. Because sometimes, the greatest repairs aren't made with tools, but with kindness.